Today's show is action-packed, so buckle up and let's dive into it. Screw your freedom.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we remember and we reaffirm freedom is worth the sacrifice. Democracy is not perfect. It's never been good, perfect. It's never been good. It's never been good. It's never been good.
Hey folks, the Second Amendment, freedom. The opposite of those things is no guns and no freedom. Look at things that way. If one thing is not allowed, what is prescribed? Well, freedom of speech. The opposite of that is silence. The right to not be self-incriminated, right? Oh, that is, the opposite of that is, well, you will confess and admit your guilt to the government. You're forced to do that, right? The opposite of states' rights is the states have no rights. Now, I know that's pretty hardcore, isn't it? That's pretty extreme. But we are hearing now, Beto O'Rourke, right? This clown is running for governor of Texas, and he's going to get trounced. I don't think that there is a strong enough fraud system in place to get him pushed into office in Texas. But he's going to try. He's going to keep pushing it. He's going to run the extreme gamut. They're coming for us, folks. They need to get rid of the Second Amendment. You know, Beto, who said, well, damn right, I'll take your ARs, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, no, we never really meant that or said that. Now he's back the other way, exploiting the death of children. Folks, we got some brilliant Bidenisms here. Now, the new White House spokesgirl, Karine Jean-Pierre, says Joe Biden is not, let me repeat this, not interested in hardening schools because the problem is with guns. Well, guns are really the issue, right? Right? Guns are the issue. Let's make White House, Congress, the Supreme Court, and all federal government offices gun-free zones, too. Let's do that. No cops, no protection needed now, right, liberals? Because there's right there, it's right there on the sign. It'll say no guns allowed. And people will be like, oh, okay, White House, Congress, no guns allowed means no guns, right? And then we can turn around and send the guns that are currently protecting the White House, Congress, Supreme Court, and bureaucracy. We can send those weapons and security professionals to protect the schools, where criminals can't apparently read the gun-free zone signs there. And these people and guns can then protect our kids. Now, that would be hardening the schools at no cost. We would just transfer the money spent to protect a bunch of doddering idiots and send that money to where apparently it is needed, where the guns are showing up because lunatics believe there's no guns there. But looking into this, hardening schools, I don't like the idea of schools being like a prison. I don't like them being indoctrination centers for perverted ideas that are just spoon-fed into the delicate minds of children, the innocent minds of children. That's what they're doing. They're just feeding them this garbage after garbage. You would think that they would want kids protected in schools, but no, they actually want them to be victims, folks. They're unwitting victims. A traumatized mind is always easier to control. They know it. They know the psychology behind all of this crap, folks. They know it. You know, what they're doing, as far as I'm concerned, is a horrifying crime. Now, over the last weekend, folks, Memorial Day, Chicago, 52 shot, 10 killed over Memorial Day weekend. Sounds like mass murder to me. Well, who is making that happen? I thought Chicago was essentially a gun-free zone. I guess gun control doesn't work. Chicago, which is home of the leftist, socialist, no-gun mentality. Now, they have a new slogan there that they're using. It's called Welcome. And then you put a target on your chest and your back, a nice round target, because the criminals are so poorly trained that when they shoot at you, they're going to hit others instead. And that way it protects you. You wear that target. Yeah. I mean, they're shooting just anybody, folks. So what is it? Is it the guns, or is it the mentality of the people who live in such places? Right? What causes the mental illness to make someone snap and become a mass murderer? Now let's talk about the time needed to commit these atrocities. Let's see, a gun was used. About 20 people were killed over the weekend, right? Children and adults. Not over the weekend, but at the school. The guy had about an hour. Do you think it would take an hour to kill that many people with a baseball bat? How long would it take to kill 20 people with a knife? Right? Certainly far less time. Right? It shouldn't have taken him an hour to kill 20 people with a gun, but once again, like Chicago, we're talking about people who are basically incompetent, incapable of performing properly. Is that why it took so long before someone finally charged in and put an end to that? They wanted to give him lots of time to do the most damage he could, because the bigger the number of dead people, the more people like Beto O'Rourke and Joe Biden could exploit their deaths. I mean, think about it, folks. Think about it. The school shooting happened, and within a day, I was getting advertisements, commercial advertisements of the parents of children who were killed in Handy Sook. Switch the letters, Handy Sook. They're putting commercials out. That's pretty damn exploited, if you ask me. These people are sick, and this is all about power, folks. It's all about putting us in our places. It's all about controlling us. Our freedom, our freedoms, our rights, our liberties, they're protected by the Second Amendment. Our lives also are protected by the Second Amendment. But without freedom, you have no life. Without freedom, you are now a slave. They have all of this crap out there about human trafficking, the owning of people for various purposes. Well, the government wants to own us. We can't be controlled if we have freedom. So they lock us down. They put a mask on us. They silence us. They take away our ability to defend ourselves. They say, you'll eat when we say you eat. That's where we're heading, folks. Right? Now, is that too extreme? Well, listen to this. If you don't obey, the master gets mad. There's a fighter pilot in the U.S. military. Let me put that in. If not a fighter pilot, because I believe he's a helicopter pilot, but you fly combat missions, right? So I guess that is a fighter pilot. Well, he has spoken out because the U.S. military is discriminating against him. And this is incredible, folks. A pilot has years of college under them, and millions of dollars in training goes into making them a normal person, physically, mentally, and educationally training them to fly in combat situations. This fighter pilot is saying, man, we're being forced to perform janitorial work. Now, nobody's above that. I've done janitorial work. In fact, I do it all the time in my own place, right? Here in the Prepared Mind bunker zone, right? But this guy's saying, hey, we're being forced to perform janitorial work. But it's because he has not gotten the Jim Jones juice. If you don't do as they say, folks, on everything, whether it's medical or your spiritual belief or your belief in the LGBS and the desire to cut your own genitals off, if you don't buy their program, they're going to punish you, even in the military. Even if you're incredibly valuable, they don't care. It's about punishment, control, slavery, taking your freedom, and your Second Amendment is tied directly to that. They want people upset and fearful and traumatized so they can try controlling their brains. understand the trauma is going to get a lot worse. We've got hard times coming. We've got to harden and prepare our minds. Chance favors the prepared mind, does it not? Or are unprepared people always the ones who come out on top and they're most successful? No, not even close. Not even close, right? We know the facts, we know the truth, right? Chance does favor the prepared mind. Our freedoms are tied to the Second Amendment and the First. So start talking. Call, write, email, text your congressmen, your representatives in government at the state level and the federal level. Tell them what you think. Thank you for supporting the Prepared Mind channel. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that, right? Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Do that and share this video. Share the URL. Share the internet address with others so they can get prepared. This is about control. They're coming down on us and they're coming down hard. They don't want to protect the kids. They want to protect and increase their power. And they're more than willing to punish anyone who disobeys. Fighter pilot, go clean that toilet. Right? Voters, you want to screw up, we're going to take away your cheap gas, your standard of living. We're going to hurt you so bad. And they are. You think it's not intentional? Joe Biden even admitted it's intentional. That there's going to be, it's a painful transition to a carbon-free world. And so they're doing it intentionally. It's going to be painful, they say. Yeah, you bet. Unless you're a rich asshole like these people in government and corporate power. They couldn't care less if energy's a little more expensive. To the poor, they're hurting them. And then they pretend to represent you. Wake up, poor people. Middle class, you think they represent you? You're being impoverished. Just look around. The cost of everything is going up. The availability of things you want is going down. The middle class is being destroyed. Get prepared, folks. I'll talk to you at today's Q&A and monologue session. Between now and then, aren't you glad you are a prepper? Semper Fi and Godspeed.